It's that time again.
Watch out! Here it comes. Watch out! Here it comes. Watch out! Here it comes. Watch out!
There's no Wayne, there is no Stu with me, but I do have a very special guest, Jonathan Mathis. He hails from Cerritos, California, big Lakers fan. No surprise there, always on the show. Welcome, Jonathan.
Hey, how you doing, my friend Vince?
I'm doing good, brother.
How's things in the land down under?
Look, best country in the world, but just struggling a bit in my state with the coronavirus, but we're getting there.
Good to hear. Good to hear. I hope to visit Australia one day.
I'll be waiting for you, mate. We'll have a few beers, but we're not going to have Fosters, okay? No one here drinks Fosters. Just because I remember one day you were doing a live, Facebook Live, and you're having Fosters, and I messaged you and I said, mate, nobody drinks that here.
And they always say it's the Australian for beer.
Yep. We sell it here, but no one buys it. I think it was bigger in the 80s, actually. So, yeah, it was an 80s thing. But, no one actually drinks it. But for all you Americans there listening, no one drinks it. So, yeah, as I said, Jonathan is a big Lakers fan. But apart from that, Jonathan, you are the founder of SoCal Chronicle.
Yes, I am the founder of SoCal Chronicle Sports. It's a fun website that I started running 2 years ago. I launched the website in 2018. And what it mainly focuses on is LA sports. So I mostly write LA sports content. I cover teams like the Lakers, the Dodgers, the Rams, the USC Trojans, the UCLA Bruins, mostly the local teams here in the Southern California market. And let me tell you, man, it's been a blast to run this website. It's been a lot of fun. I even got credentialed in 2018 to cover the NBA All-Star game. Maybe we could talk about that a little later in the show. But that's what SoCalChronicles.com is. Make sure you guys check it out. SoCalChronicle.com. Great website. I post a lot of great commentary, and I hope that you guys check it out and read the content there. You guys will enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a member of that page, and I can tell you Jonathan does write some really good stuff. But, mate, let's get into that All-Star weekend, because that is something I would love to do one day, me and my other two hosts, Wayne and Stu. Tell us how that came about, and tell us if you got any cool stories about the All-Star weekend.
Yeah, I did. Over that weekend, I got some cool stories. I was able to be there close and personal. I was able to get, easy access. And when you have media credentials, it's not like watching a game from your home on TV. It's totally different atmosphere. It's a wonderful atmosphere to be in. And I was able to meet a lot of people in the same profession as myself. It's always great to, join a group of people that do the same thing that you do. And so it was just an amazing weekend. I was able to cover the dunk contest, and the winner in the 2018 dunk contest was Donovan Mitchell of the Utah Jazz. A very humble, mature player. He's very likable in Utah. He's just a wonderful, wonderful human being off the basketball court. And I think that's what stuck out to me the most as I was covering him. Sitting there listening to him during the press conference. Just an amazing, amazing person. And then I covered the Rising Stars Challenge. That's where it's the rookies versus the sophomores. But I believe they changed the format a little bit. It's now World versus I think it's World versus, I don't know the other team's name. I can't, it hasn't come to my mind right now.
Yeah, but, I've got a blank on that one too.
I think you get my point.
Yep.
It's mainly an exhibition game that comprised of players who've have only been in the NBA for 2 years or who are rookies. And that was a fun event because it was although it was an exhibition game, it was still exciting just to be there and to be able to experience that moment, and covering it was a lot of fun. And then of course the All-Star game, which was the inaugural All-Star game, being that it was a different format. It was Team LeBron versus Team Giannis, I believe, if I'm
Yep.
correct.
Yep, I
And
think you're right.
I thought that format was really cool because they actually played the game. They didn't turn the game into a 2-hour dunk contest or a 3-point shootout. They actually played the game. So to be a part of that for the first time in a long time was great. They actually played defense. You saw some physical and aggressive brand of basketball, and it was just a different feel for the All-Star game. It felt like an actual playoff game. And being a part of that was fun. That night, I didn't really go to the media section in the press box. I stayed downstairs. I stayed in the conference room so I could get a good seat for the press conferences because it's first come, first serve. And
Okay.
if you get the front row, then good for you. You're right there where you could hear the players loud and clearly. So I stayed down there and just worked on my story while I was in the conference room. It was cool because that was my first time ever covering a sporting event. So I got to see things, hands on. I got to do things while I was there. I got to meet people, network, connect with people, and I pigged out on Blaze Pizza for 3 nights, which was not so bad, because I'm a pizza guy,
Yep.
and so I used my vouchers to eat pizza for dinner. And while I was doing that, I was able to enjoy the games, enjoy the festivities, and at the same time cover them and have something to go on my resume now. Now I can say that I covered a sporting event.
Yeah, fantastic. Look, the All-Star weekend, they needed to do something because I just stopped watching All-Star weekends altogether. I can't. Yeah, I really did. And every time we covered it on the podcast, I would just say to Wayne and Stu, like, I'm not going to say anything because I just don't watch it. It's boring. No one plays defense. So to hear that they're playing defense now and getting a bit physical, that's good because to me, I'd rather just have the guys take a weekend off and refresh.
Right. Just take the weekend off. Come back rejuvenated,
Yep.
ready to go for the second half of the season. But the All-Star game is not what it used to be. Now that you have all of these mobile apps where you can watch a game on any night now, you don't have to wait. You have all these cable networks now. You have all of these different sports networks, and you have the internet. You can see a player in any market now. And that's what the All-Star game was originated for. It was to be able for people in other markets and other cities to see a superstar from each team. And that's what the All-Star game was all about. Now, the All-Star games now in all of these leagues, they're only exhibition games, and they're not as relevant anymore. They're irrelevant now. A lot of people don't take them seriously. They don't take the time to watch them. They don't invest time and money or energy in watching these events because they know what to expect. They know what it's going to be like. It's just going to be a show, a show that's not necessarily boring, but is meaningless. That doesn't really captivate anyone's interest because they're just slam dunking it, or they're just firing up 3-point shots, not contesting shots, not guarding anyone or making it challenging,
Yep. No, meaningless. That's the perfect way to describe it, I think. Now, from memory, you're a big Bill Plaschke fan. Is that correct?
Yes, I am. I'm a huge Bill Plaschke fan.
Yep.
We're also friends. We talk from here and there. There's times that
nice.
we've had conversations.
Yep.
And he's one of my favorite writers. I've been reading Bill Plaskey for years now. He's a well-known writer here in Los Angeles. He covers LA sports for the LA Times. He covers the Lakers, the Dodgers, USC, UCLA, all the local teams like I do for my website. And he does a tremendous job. He's a brilliant writer. He's amazing with his words. He's good at telling stories. He's probably one of the most amazing storytellers that is in the sports writing business. He's been doing it for years. He has a lot of experience. You could learn from him. He's the one that gave me this piece of advice. He said, if you struggle to find an opening for your article, and if you struggle with your first couple of sentences, start from the middle and work your way back to the top, or even start from the conclusion and work your way to the middle of the story. Isn't that amazing?
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yes, and after I've learned that, that has helped me become a better writer. It has helped me be able to perfect my craft as a writer. So those type of pointers really gave me a different perspective on journalism. And I think it has helped me grow in such a way that I've been able to improve immensely, with my writing talent. And it's awesome. It's fun to do. I enjoy it. And Bill Plaskey has been not only a mentor, but a great friend and someone who really, really cares and who wants to see people succeed in what is a very competitive, tough business, because you have limited sports writers now, not mainly because of not mainly because of newspapers dying, but mostly because journalism is in an evolution stage right now. If you notice, journalism is developing more websites now. More content is going online now, not so much in newspapers. It's not printed out anymore. People, this younger generation do not read newspapers as much as the older generation does. So now that everything's online, I feel like journalism is evolving. And even though it's evolving, that just means that there's a creation of more jobs, even though it doesn't seem that way, because now you have new websites coming out of nowhere. And so, as a writer, you always learn from somebody else. And that's humbling to me, to be able to learn from somebody else. And that writer is, for me, Bill Plaskey.
No, look, that's awesome, because I'm a big believer in asking a lot of questions. So, I mean, if you've got a wealth of information there in Bill Plaskey, you'd be crazy not to seek him out and ask questions and just trying to improve every day. He's been, like you said, he's been around for years. I mean, I remember seeing him on Around the Horn.
Yes.
But did you meet him at All-Star? Was that the first time you met him at All-Star Weekend?
That's the first time I met him in person, yes, during
Okay.
the All-Star Weekend. And if you go onto my Facebook and Instagram page, you might have to scroll down a little bit. I mean, you got a long ways to go to get to that picture. But I got a picture with me standing next to Bill Plaskey. And that picture was taken on Sunday night before the start of the All-Star game. That was taken in the media room. There's a room where writers have their individual desks where they can work while they're on deadline or while they're trying to finish a story. That's a little quiet area where they can work. And that's where me and Bill Plaskey encountered each other. And it just so happened that Bill Plaskey sat in the same row that I did, 2 desks down from me. And
Nice.
I started talking to him. We had a great conversation. And his other colleagues came and joined him as well from the LA Times. So I met all of them too. I met Brad Turner. If you don't know who Brad Turner is, he's a Clippers beat writer for the LA Times. He's the one that snapped the picture. He's the one that took my phone and took the picture with me and Plaskey. Very funny guy, a nice guy like Bill Plaskey. And they were just very welcoming. And they knew it was my first time because I had shared it with them. And I said I was just excited for this moment, for this opportunity to be here. And you know how I ended up getting there? it was through a great friend of mine from San Antonio, Texas, Michael D. Leon. He covers the San Antonio Spurs, and he's the founder of the website Project Spurs. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you check that out. I know you're a Laker guy, but hey, give him some love and support as well. He does tremendous work, and he's the one that gave me the credentials to cover that event.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, awesome. Yeah, no, I do have some Spurs friends who are Spurs fans, so I'll pass that on for sure. Now, listen, when you were sitting there front row, were you really, was it daunting to ask your first question to a player?
Yeah, I'm kind of shy, so
Yep.
I was just listening to what the other journalists had for the players and the coaches. I was more or less taking every moment in.
Yep.
There was times where I became starstruck because I was around writers that I would see on TV, or I was around athletes that I liked tremendously. So there was times that I got overly excited, that I became starstruck, and it kind of took my focus away from what I was there to do. But I didn't get too carried away. I was able to stay composed, remain on task, and I was able to still get my articles done and post them up to my website. But back to your question, it was great to be able to experience what it's like to ask questions, to see how the reporters, pose questions to the athlete, mostly open-ended questions, because by presenting open-ended questions to the athlete, you tend to get a longer response. So that's what I've noticed. I had my phone out so I could record, because even though that's the lazy way of journalism nowadays, that's also the convenient way. It's faster, it's more convenient. You're able to just record everything and go back later and rewind it back and see whatever you might have missed. So a lot of people had their camera phones out. A lot of the reporters, they didn't stay at the podium of a player too long because they wanted to kind of move around and work their way to other podiums so they can get some more information about other players that were having their media session at the same time, because a lot of this stuff was going on simultaneously. So you didn't want to miss what the other player was saying to reporters next to that player. So it was a bit overwhelming, but it was a lot of fun, and you got to really see how it works and how it looks and how the setup is and everything. So to ask questions was overwhelming. It was a little frightening, to say the least, because it was my first time. Yeah. And I was just listening to the other reporters to try to get an idea on how to present my question to the athletes.
Yeah, mate, you're a braver man than me. I would have, because I can be pretty shy as well, and pretty nervous sometimes. So I'd be just asking a question, going, please don't let this be a stupid question. So that might have stopped me from asking a question. But but if we could pivot for just a second, because you do live in California.
Yes,
yes, Cerritos. Yeah. Now, the age-old question, mate. I know the Clippers are good. The Lakers are better. Everyone knows it. And I'm sick of hearing online from Marcellus Wiley and Clipper Darrell that, it's now a Clippers town. I want to hear it from you, mate. Is that true? It's still a Lakers
Clipper
town.
Darnell is not, going to put his bias aside. He's a diehard Clipper fan. This man dresses up in a blue and red suit all the time, supporting the Clippers.
Yeah, he's a fool.
That's what he does. He's a devoted Clippers fan, and I understand that. But let's not forget that this will always be a Laker town. LA is a Laker town. They have 16 championships hanging from the Raptors.
Attaboy.
They have a richer history. than what the Clippers have. They actually had more superstar talent over the years. They have the Laker girls. They have a storied organization. They've been led by legendary stars, Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal. The list goes on. So this will always be a Laker town, and the Lakers even holds the throne over the Dodgers here in LA. I mean, that's how big basketball is here. It's the social fabric of Southern California. And that is mainly because of the Los Angeles Lakers and because of their rich history. So, no, this will never be a Clipper town. It will never be Clipper Nation. It will always be Laker Nation.
See, this is what I love about Laker fans, because it is one thing I love about the Lakers. We could be, when we're really good, we turn up, we're always there, we're always vocal. Even when we're down, like we were for the last 6 years or so, we always turn up, we're always vocal, we're always relevant. It's always, we'll win the next one, we'll win the next one. It's never, you don't see an empty stadium. You know, we're always there. Whereas a lot of other teams, and I'm going to say the Clippers, when they're down, I don't think they get that kind of support.
You know what? The fans are lively at the Staples Center. They always show up for the Lakers. And, that's because there's always been a winning product on the floor. And that's also because there's always been a superstar on the floor. You had Kobe, and now in the Kobe post era, you have LeBron James. So that's drawing more of an audience. That's attracting more fans to show up to the Staples Center. As long as you have a superstar, leading your squad, you're going to always get a large attendance. It's always going to be like that for the Lakers because this is a star-driven city. The fans here are fascinated with stars. They are enamored with Hollywood here. So anytime there's an all-star player on your roster here in LA, that team's going to get the most attention because that's just how it is here.
Mate, you are making me want to jump on a plane and get over there. I'm telling you. I can't wait to get over there and just experience the whole Laker game and feeling. And I'll probably miss seeing LeBron play. He might be gone by the time I get there. But how thankful are you that we have LeBron James during this, through the whole death of Kobe and now through COVID-19. I just think his leadership has been awesome, especially through that, the Kobe death. I know I said to my two other co-hosts, Wayne and Stu, just to have LeBron lead us through this and the way he conducted himself was just awesome.
Yes. Well, he's a kid from Akron, Ohio, but he married into the Laker family. And he's been accepted here in Los Angeles. And I think that was confirmed when he took the mic the day that the Lakers returned to the court in the wake of Kobe Bryant's death.
Yep.
And the words that he said was on point. They held value. And it was just a very poignant moment for Laker fans and for LeBron James. And it was a heartfelt message, one that was delivered from the heart, one that, left a lot of people speechless, and people were emotional that night. And the way LeBron handled it, it was just unbelievable, the way the man handled it. He, kept his composure while he was speaking to thousands of Laker fans. And he said all the right things. And the torch was passed on to him. And he has been that face since he's arrived here. And I think he's grown on the fan base now. I think he's more accepted now. And I think he has become a popular figure here in LA. He had to earn it. He had to win the respect of thousands of fans who still weren't over the fact that he had come in to help this team win, not to take Kobe's place, but to help this team win another championship, to add a championship to their collection of trophies. You know, he didn't come here to take Kobe's place. And I think that's what people thought when he first arrived, and it had nothing to do with that. But he will definitely go down as one of the Laker greats. He won't be here long enough to pass Kobe Bryant, but he will definitely be in the top 5 if the Lakers win a championship. The Lakers got to win a championship for him to be in the top 5.
Oh, look, I totally agree, and I want this championship, more than anything. And I'm sure you do, and we all do. But the thing about when Kobe passed away is that Kobe was that he was still like our leader off the court. You know, like Kobe would, when we sucked, Kobe would say, "It's the Lakers, we'll be fine. You know, we'll get it right." And you're just like, Kobe said we'll be fine. Everything's good. Everything's okay. And I think, I know myself. I look at LeBron when he retires. I think he's going to stay around the Lakers. If I was Genie, I would offer him part ownership. He can be that off court guy that Kobe was for us, like advising Genie, giving Genie ideas. Same as Kobe. We don't get that with Shaq. As much as I love Shaq, like he's awesome, we don't get that from him. And I get he's a part owner of the Kings, but I think we could get it back with LeBron, because I think we need that ex-superstar that played for us to just be in Genie's ear a little bit. Because Kobe did that with LeBron. He said to Genie, "Get this right. If you don't get this right, he won't come."
Right.
And she listened to him, and he came.
I can see LeBron being a team consultant or an advisor, someone in Genie Buster's ear. But I think he has bigger obligations. I think he is more, serious about doing his film making, doing his film making after basketball. I think that's what kind of influenced him to sign with the Lakers, because it puts him closer to his second dream, which is to get into the filmmaking industry. And I think he's big on, producing after basketball. I'm sure he has other things in mind after basketball, but hey, who knows? Maybe he can be that voice for the Lakers, like Magic is. Magic do multiple things here in Los Angeles. He's a fruitful businessman. He, was the former team president of basketball operations for the Lakers. He runs his charity foundations. He opened Starbucks throughout the city. He opened movie theaters throughout the city. He's still doing other charity events while he's funding money. He's still, traveling to basketball games, showing up in the locker rooms, being a source of inspiration to Michigan State players and that kind of stuff. So LeBron could do the same thing. He could still be an advisor for the team, still do his film making, still stream Taco Tuesday every Tuesday from his house or wherever he do those live streaming videos. But I think LeBron has a lot of things in mind, and he definitely has the mind of a businessman. He has a mindset like that, and I think he'll do great in whatever he chooses to do after basketball. But I would never question his business acumen. I think he definitely knows what he wants to do next, and it'll be interesting to see if the Lakers do offer him a front office gig.
Look, I hope they do, and I think you're 100% right. I think he can be a bit like Magic Johnson, and I did know he wanted to get into the movie side of things. I just think it'd be crazy not just have him around, at least minimum as a consultant for Genie, just to tap into and say, what do you think about this player? What do you think about this? He's a winner, and he knows what it takes. Lakers have made a couple of, I actually like them, but the latest one, we signed Dion Waiters before the shutdown. which I really like the Dion Waiters signing. He's got a bit of that what we call mongrel in him. He's tough. He's not afraid of a big shot. And the other one is J.R. Smith, who was a bit poo-pooed online by a lot of people. A lot of people liked it. You know, J.R. Smith, he can still play D. He can still shoot. He's not going to play a huge amount of minutes. But to think that this guy's not going to help us, I think that's insane. Like,
I think J.R. Smith helps fill the hole that was left by Avery Bradley. Now, I'm going to come out and say this. He is not an Avery Bradley, so don't expect him to be.
No.
Avery Bradley was was a vital piece to this Laker roster. He was a key component on defense for the Lakers. He was probably the best perimeter defender the Lakers had. And to lose him is a big loss. And, you know, for a guy like J.R. Smith, that's a big shoe size to fill. But J.R. Smith is a great shooter. He's great on the offensive side of the floor. Not so great defensively. Not as aggressive. Not as tough. Not in your face like Avery Bradley is. Mm-hmm. He's not the type of guy that's going to strip the ball and turn it into transitional points. That's not what you get from J.R. Smith. What you get from J.R. Smith is a three-point shooting specialist. That's what you get. You get a guy who has a smooth jumper, who has a sweet touch, and who can get hot at any time. This guy can light it up from downtown, from beyond the arc. He is an amazing shooter. And he has found success playing alongside LeBron. Remember, he won a championship with him in 2016 in Cleveland. These guys were teammates, so now they are reuniting, and now they have a chance to win another championship together. I think it's a perfect fit because of the success that he's had with LeBron. I think this could be a recipe for success. Do I think they sign him after the season? I don't think so. I think he just fills in nicely right now as a replacement player in Bradley's absence.
Look, people want to talk about how J.R. Smith made that huge mistake in Game 1 of the finals. But what they don't remember is when they won the title with the Cavs, I think it was the start of the fourth quarter, J.R. Smith came out and hit some big shots. He can get it done.
Yes, because he's a streaky shooter. And when he gets hot, he's hard to contain. He's hard to stop. All you got to do is create a shot for him. And also, what people don't realize, too, is that Smith can create his own shot. He has the ability to do that.
Yeah.
And he's just, he'll hurt you. He'll hurt you.
Now, what are your thoughts on the Dion Waiters signing? I as I said, I like it. I like him defensively. I like how he can shoot. What are your thoughts?
Yes, Dion Waiters can be a distraction, as we've seen off the court. But when he's on the court, he brings his all. I think he's a better all-around player than J.R. Smith because he can do it on both ends of the floor. Like you said, he's an aggressive defender. I think that's what the Lakers liked when they got him. And he can also shoot because at the time, the Lakers needed another perimeter shooter. And Dion Waiters can do all those things. And Dion Waiters also played with LeBron, too. These are guys that played with LeBron in the past. So did LeBron have a say in this? Did he have some input on this? He might have. Then again, the Lakers might have saw that these guys can be great role players around LeBron and they can actually mush well together. And I think Dion Waiters was a good pickup for the Lakers. And I think you will see him coming off the bench as a sixth man. I think at this point, when the season returns, when it starts in late July, I think you'll see J.R. Smith in the starting lineup.
Yeah, look, the thing you mentioned, the off-court stuff with Dion Waiters, I think he's been told, from what I picked up on, the same thing they sort of said to Dwight Howard. We're going to sign you. what happens, what has happened has happened. It's in the past. But if there's one stuff up, you're gone because we're not guaranteeing anything. So I think he's been told the same thing. And from what I could tell, they just posted actually on Twitter this morning a bit of a workout from Dion Waiters. He looks good. He looks fit. And he looks healthy. He looks happy.
Oh yeah, I saw a video of him skating in his house. I guess he has a area where he can rollerblade and all that. You can see that he's been putting in the work. He's been putting in hours of work. He looks like he's in incredible shape. He looks like he's well fit and ready to go. Look like he's refocused as well, and he has a different mindset now. I think he's ready to go. I think he could be a contributing factor for the Lakers down the stretch, and I think this will be a good acquisition for the Lakers. No doubt about it.
And the thing is, if you're going to play for Frank Vogel, you're going to be playing defense. There's no ifs or buts with Coach Vogel. You're not playing defense, you're not playing.
Oh, no, because he's committed to having his players play defense, and they have stepped up in that department, and you've seen it this season. It has really been beneficial for the Lakers, and they look like a totally different team now that they're playing aggressively on defense.
Now, I was absolutely stoked when they hired Frank Vogel. I did not want Tyronn Lue. And don't get me wrong, I love LeBron. I just thought he would give LeBron too much rope. You know, on our shows, I think we even said hire Frank Vogel. I know he wasn't the first choice, but I don't think we'd be this good with Tyronn Lue coaching us because there's not that same commitment on defense. He doesn't preach defense like Frank Vogel.
Right, and that's something that Frank Vogel does. He preaches defense. Also, look at the coaching staff behind him. He has Lionel Hollins. He has Jason Kidd. These are all defensive-minded coaches who heavily preach defense. So, this was a good hire for the Lakers. There was mixed emotions about it. People had their reactions about it, and some people didn't like it. They felt that he wasn't the right coach. Well, if you look at his track record, he had a pretty good winning percentage when he was coaching in Indiana. Mm-hmm. The reason why he fell off in Orlando is because he had no talented coach. Not even Phil Jackson would have succeeded with that.
No, that's right. They sucked. You're right. They had nothing.
They had nothing for him to work with. So, it's evident now that he's coaching the Lakers that he's not a bad coach, that he's actually a game changer, that he's a terrific coach. A coach that anyone should want to have on their sideline. Because, again, going back to Indiana, he led them to 2 Eastern Conference Finals. And they lost to who? LeBron James. Now, Who is he coaching? LeBron James.
Just a fantastic job. I know the thing that surprises me with Frank Vogel, I didn't realize he was such a player's coach. Like, everything you hear, well, you probably hear it more than we do, but everything I've read or heard, the players really like Frank Vogel. Like they like playing for him, which is, if you can get that as a coach, you're halfway there. And that surprised me with him. I thought to me, he always looked like a guy that you would, it sounds strange, but struggle to like, you know what I mean, as a player. Like, you'd probably keep him at arm's length. He looks like a bit of a grump sometimes.
Right.
But it's turned out the other way, which is, mate, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Now, what are your thoughts? Because we give Kentavious Caldwell-Pope a lot of shit on our show. Yes, defensively, I like him, but I don't see how everyone raves on about how good of a shooter he is. I just don't think he's that good of a shooter. He frustrates me to no end. Like, there are shots that he misses where I was like, dude, I'm 43 years old and I haven't hooped in like 10 years, but I can hit that. I know I can hit that if I'm that open.
With KCP, it's more of a mental thing for him.
It's gotta be, right?
I think he takes ill-advised shots. I think more than anything, he's not smart with the basketball at times. And so he forces shots and he misses them. and then it looks bad on him. That's something we've seen a lot with KCP. Now KCP, like you said, he's decent defensively, but he lacked on the offensive side of the basketball. And that's mostly because he just takes shot after shot after shot. And most of those shots are ill-advised shots that he missed. And sometimes he refuses to give up that extra pass.
It's frustrating.
Right, it is. It's very frustrating.
And I get why they paid him the 20 mil the first year he was there, because it's like, we're going to pay you this now because LeBron's coming and we're not going to have as much to pay you next year. We get all that, but gee whiz, let's not overpay him again. I think $9 million is too much even. But my last thing on a Lakers player, now don't get me wrong, I love this kid. I love him to death. But what to do with Kyle Kuzma? He works hard, but there's just something off this year. Whether he's still struggling coming off the bench, if there's that mental thing with him, because I don't want to lose him, because I know if we trade him somewhere, he's going to bust out, and it's really going to piss me off if that happens. But at times he has been just missing this year.
Yeah, it's I think more than anything with him as well, it's his mental approach. This guy, you go on the internet and he's blowing up on Instagram, doing videos, posting videos, dancing, doing all this other stuff off the court. That has done nothing but created distraction. Doing mixtapes, dishing other players and all this stuff. There comes a time when you got to put your focus into your craft, and that's something I don't see him doing. I don't think he takes the game seriously at times. I think he wants to win. I think he wants to be great, but he wants to do too much. And I know it's his personal time and everything, but he wants to do too much off the floor. And he's so busy doing all these videos on social media, doing silly stuff. He's still young. He still has time to develop, but he's running out of time. And if this continues, he's going to lose the Laker fans' patience. The Laker fans, I should word it this way. The Laker fans are going to begin to lose patience with him if he doesn't, find himself or rediscover himself and revert back to that same guy that we saw in his rookie season when he, kind of burst onto the scene. After that, he kind of regressed and never really found his game again. Haven't been able to refine his game. And that's something that we need to see from Kyle Kuzma, because he is too consistent. He is too inconsistent, and he is not trustworthy. That's why he's coming off the bench. I don't think he earns the start. I think if you were to shift him and move him, you would move him to center. I brought this up the other day, and the reason I said that is because what if Dwight Howard chooses not to play? What if he opts out of playing in the Orlando restart, and you're down to just Anthony Davis and JaVale McGee, right?
Yep.
If you're down to those guys, what if one of those guys get in foul trouble or one of those guys get injured? You're in trouble. You're going to have somebody else playing center, and you would have to play small ball and most likely move Kyle Kuzma to center, because I think he fits that role.
Yeah, look, I could totally see that. I'm not against that at all. But you're right, though. He's running out of time, because I think he soon turns 26. There's got to be a stage where he's going to look and go, well, am I going to spend the next 4 years being this inconsistent guy who can give us 30 one night and 6 the next? Or do I want to knuckle down, stop the off-court crap, videos on Instagram and all this, knuckle down, get in the gym? And he's got the examples there. He's got the leadership. He's got the inspiration there. Davis is always in there. LeBron's always in there. Rondo's always in there. He's got the examples.
And so he's got the tools. He got the tools to be great.
Exactly. Well. So he's got to make the choice. Like, something's got to click soon, because you're right. They will lose patience with him. And I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him go, because we both know what he can do. He's shown it. When LeBron didn't play against OKC, he dropped 37. he won us that game. Kuzma won us that game. So it's in him. It's just he's got to unlock
if
it.
they trade Kuzma, I could already imagine him doing what Brandon Ingram has done. Brandon Ingram has gotten better since he left LA.
Oh, dude, I miss that kid. I miss Lonzo Ball. Just
I don't.
you don't? I love Lonzo
I don't
Ball.
miss his daddy. That's for sure.
Yeah, look, I didn't mind LeVar. Like, I see it from the point of that's his way of supporting his kids. You know, like I can't bash the guy for that. I can see why people do, but I can't. Like, he does say some stupid shit. Like, he could beat Jordan 1-on-1, and
Yeah.
you say stuff like that, you just like.
To work out with Kobe Bryant.
Say that again. Sorry.
He didn't want his son Lonzo, his eldest son, to work out with Kobe when Kobe was alive.
Really?
I know, right? That's crazy. Kobe's one of the greatest players of all time.
Oh my God!
And you won't let your son work out with him? Are you crazy? Are you nuts? Are you
What in the
ignorant
world?
not to understand how this guy could help your son transform into a perennial superstar?
That's insane. He's lost me there. You got me. He lost me there. Oz lost me. If you don't, I mean, if it's good enough for Jason Tatum, I mean, hello, it's got to be good enough for Lonzo. That's insane. Yeah. No, he's lost me. LeVar's lost me there. He's lost my support. Now, look, one thing I like about you, Jonathan, and we've been friends on Facebook for years, man, and we chat every so often. One thing I like about you is you're a very positive guy. I never used to be a real positive person, but over the last 2 years, I've really worked on my mental health and stuff like that. So I just want to, best you can, how important do you think it is for your mental state to be looking at things more positive? Like, everyone has bad days. I know I do. But one thing I always teach my kids, and I always ask them when I pick them up from school, I say, what's 3 things you're grateful for? And they'll say to me, family. One time they said trees because oxygen,
Right.
It could be anything. It doesn't have to be big. It could be small.
Right. It could.
And I just that is really, things like that have helped me. Even if I'm having a bad day, looking forward to something positive that's going to happen at the end of your day, whether it's going home, seeing your mum, your partner, your kids, your favourite TV show. Oh, I'm going to watch the Lakers game when I get home. I think all that helps. How important is it in your life to be like as positive as you are? How does that help you?
I think it's very important. Not only does it soothe your mind and make you feel better about yourself, but it also takes your mind off of the negative things that's happening in the world. I think it's very important to have a positive mindset, because by having a positive mindset, you grow in life. You will, see prosperity, enter into your life, and that could make you a better person. I think the first thing to do, number one, is to wake up in the morning and count your blessings. That's a simple blessing right there. You woke up in the morning. Not everyone had that privilege. I think number 2 is, like you said, to count your blessings. It doesn't have to be something big. It could be something small. You could be blessed for your glasses. I have to wear glasses now to be able to see. And I'm grateful for my glasses, because without them, I'm not able to see clearly. So it's small things like that that could make you really, really happy. Being able to breathe, being able to walk, being able to hug your daughter or your wife or your kids or whoever it may be that you interact with on a regular basis. That's a blessing. So I think it's always important to have a positive mindset. It's funny that you say I'm a very positive person, because some people think the opposite of me. They think that I'm a very negative person. But you know what? It's just that I have hard opinions, and sometimes my words could be interpreted the wrong way, and people get the wrong message from what I'm trying to actually convey, or they just think because I posted what sounds like a negative message that's how I am all the time. No, off camera and when I'm not writing, I'm a very positive, loving, caring person, and that just makes me feel better about myself because by being a positive person, I know that I'm doing something right in my heart. I know that that's healthy. I know that's keeping me healthy, and I know it helps me relieve stress, not think about um, the negative so much, not think about what bad could happen. Think about the good. Where there's good, where there's bad, there's good as well. So that's what I do
100%.
to help.
100%, my man. And look, yeah, I've seen people call you out on Facebook because they think you, but I've never considered you to be negative. I've seen the positive posts you put. You know, I've seen hundreds of them over the years, and you know, and some of them have been inspirational. I'm like, man, I needed that. I needed to see someone write that today. Sometimes it's you, sometimes it's someone else. Yeah, I just think, like you said, it's healthy and it relieves stress. And like we said before, it doesn't have to be huge either.
Right.
It can be small. So yeah, no, thanks for your thoughts there. And if that helps someone, hopefully it does.
Hopefully it does.
But look, we're going to put a bow on the show. But I understand you do a podcast, and I've just recently discovered this podcast thanks to you with Big Baby Jonathan.
Yes, sir.
So
I do.
Give it a plug. Give it a plug, my man.
Yes, thank you. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the support and love. We always try to entertain. We try to do our best to you know give Laker fans our input on what they should do, what they could do better, how or what we think they're gonna do, all that good stuff. Make sure you guys check our podcast, Lakers 101, with Big Baby and Jonathan Mathis, myself. Hey, join the show. Call us up if you want to talk. We can chat. Be part of the show. Make sure you listen to the show. We always try to have great content for you. I know it's a slow time in sports, but hey, basketball is back, so there will be more stuff for us to talk about. So make sure you guys check us out every Tuesday and Thursday. We post it up on Facebook and YouTube. And so if you guys want more details, follow us. Follow us on Facebook. Follow my fan page at SoCal Chronicle Sports on Facebook. And we'll have all the content there for you.
Yes, sir. Now I've listened to, I've caught a few. I haven't caught one with you and Jonathan. Actually, you just released one yesterday, I think, but I've caught two of Jonathan's live Facebook shows that he does from home. Yeah, really good, entertaining stuff. He knows his hoops, knows his Lakers hoops as well. So, and it's good to have a show right in the heart of it. Man, if I had the money, I'd move to LA in a heartbeat.
Oh man, you really want to come out here, huh?
Oh, dude, Jonathan, let me tell you, mate, I'm not sure I'd come back to Australia.
Most people don't. When they come here and visit, they don't want to leave. They want to make this their home.
Yeah. I just want to go where I want to visit where Kobe played, and I want to see the Shaq's statue. I just want to explore. I just love LA, and it's weird because I've never been there, but I just love it. Sounds strange, but
you'll love it out here. You'll love it. For us, it's a little bit different because we live out here and we've seen that stuff so many times that it's just like, I'm so over it. I don't have to see it every weekend or every day, because I've seen it growing up and I've seen it plenty of times now. That stuff is mostly now for tourists and people that like yourself that want to come and visit. They get a chance to see it for the first couple times, and then after that, you're like, it's just another landmark. It's just a Hollywood sign. Oh, it's just a Walk of Fame. Oh, it's just Kobe statue, or it's just Shaq statue. Oh, it's just the Staples Center. That, it gets like that.
Nah, I can understand that. It's fair enough. But yeah, look, one day, mate, we'll get there. But look, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. It was good to get some good Laker talk in. Everyone loves the Lakers. It means ratings. You know that.
Oh, of course, absolutely. my friend. I know what you mean.
But yeah, no, look, really appreciate it. And we should do this. We should do this again when the season starts back up again. We'll just, I don't know. We should have a chat about some things
for
later.
sure.
Maybe
We can have a chat anytime, my friend, and maybe we'll bring you on Lakers 101, and we'll have an exclusive interview with you, my friend.
More than happy to, mate. More than happy to. All right, thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.
All right, it was a pleasure. Happy Friday, everyone.
Watch out! Here it comes. Watch out! Here it comes. Watch out! Here it comes. Watch out!
Ball